Hey from Gruxton was chilling at home, trying to think of a video to make. He was rootin' tootin', walking, thinking, pondering, and pontificating what video to make. Game collecting videos, retro game videos, analysis on a new game. And then he had the idea. Fuck it. Why not all game collecting videos in one? 50 game collecting tips. Here we go. Know your genre of game. Look, there's classic games for every console you might be collecting for. Doesn't mean they're your genre, doesn't mean it's games that you're going to enjoy. Understand the types of games you like, understand the types of games that you will finish, pursue those classics. If a genre doesn't interest you, don't pursue the classic games for that genre on your console. One option for buying video games is actually to buy them in lots. Even if you don't want all the games, you can often resell the ones you don't want, and you can sometimes even make a profit. So definitely check out lots. Even though Culture's video games are more expensive in the box, if you still want to go down that route, you do have another option. You can buy them in pieces. Get the cartridge here, get the manual later, then you get the box another day. You slowly piece it together and you can save money. Have extra wires in your game room. If you're out Goodwill, you find an AV cable and an HDMI cable, grab it. You're gonna need an extra one eventually. Have them stocked up, you never know when you'll need them. This next one is common sense, but you gotta make sure you do it. It's simple, but needs to be done. Always check the disc before you buy a game. You know, when you're at a thrift store, Goodwill or something, check the disc. You don't want to get home and the disc is either missing, it's the wrong game, or it's scratched the fucking back. It's a good idea to use a game tracking app. Personally, I use the app GameEye. However, there's other good options too, like Game Collection Tracker. Use whatever works for you. However, it's a good idea to track how many games and what you own so you don't buy duplicates. Plus, it's just cool to see. Get a CLT TV or Tube TV, whatever you want to call them. You know, the old big boxy ones. Because old consoles don't look good on new TVs. They don't run well. They weren't built for that, really. You know, some adapters and stuff. At the end of the day, old consoles look best on Tube TVs. Now, make sure you get a good one with AV, you know, yellow, white, red, and get the OF on the back to screw in. Do some research. The Tube TV qualities vary, but you need to get a CLT TV. You don't have to get a big one. There's nice small ones, even some with headphone jacks, some with VHS players. Do your research, but get a CLT TV. Remember, it's a hobby, not a personality. We all love game collecting, we're proud of our collections, but it is a hobby at the end of the day. Don't let yourself be defined by your collection. Don't think your collection gives you value, and that's what makes you valuable as a human. And don't let it, play up your ego or anything. Remember, it's a collection at the end of the day. A hobby, not a personality. Have some cleaning supplies on hand. Nothing too fancy. These types of wipes work well. I recommend the Clorox ones because they have a rough side as well. Some Goo Gone to get rid of goo. Your game collection, it'll have dust. It'll have goo from price tags and stuff. Have some cleaning supplies on hand. My eyes are dusty. Don't buy a console if it only has one game that interests you. We've all made this mistake, or at least a lot of us have. You need multiple games in a library to interest you, because you're going to get sick of that one game. Avoid sun fading. If the sun is shining through your windows on your game shelf and your games over enough time, it will damage the games. It'll fade out the artwork, it'll look bad. Avoid sun fading by protective covering for your windows, or avoid direct sunlight. The sun is good, but not for your games. Remember, it's not a race. I mean, you guys have seen my Xbox original collection. It's been built up over a long time, years and years. When I was a kid, I got a bunch of games from my neighbor, Goodwills and stuff. That's years in the making. I see these people now, they buy 800 games in a year on eBay. And that's fine, I respect that, but don't think of game collecting as a race. Build it up. People have been collecting for 25 years. The fun of collecting, too, is you get a little bit at a time. You don't get it all at once. You got stories of how you got it. It makes you appreciate the collection more. Try to keep your wires organized. Look, it's going to look like a mess behind the TV, but when you got so many consoles and shit plugging in, try to keep them organized. Ziploc ties, whatever you got to do. Try to maintain some kind of organization. Trust me, it will help. Try to avoid the stock images on eBay. If it doesn't show the product you're buying, I would recommend not buying it, unless it's brand new. It might not still be there, and what I mean by this is if you see a good deal at Goodwill or thrift store, don't put it down and think about it. Put it in your shopping cart, then think about it and make the decision. Because I'm sure there's a lot of gaming regret stories out there where you go back for it and it's gone. I've had it happen to me. Remember, it won't always be there. Put it in your shopping cart. Keep the item safe till you make your decision. There's certain systems like Game Boy, Game Boy Advance that the boxes are so much more expensive that we're all just going to buy them loose anyway. At least most of us. However, we might still want them on the shelf. But there's an option for Game Boy Advance. Custom cases. This is just a DS case. It has the Game Boy Advance slot in it. Just buy a generic, cheap, like, fitness DS game you don't care about. Get rid of the artwork, put new custom artwork in. Boom. GBA on the shelf. When buying a tube TV or CRT TV, you need to remember there's two differences. There's flat screen tube TVs and bubble screen tube TVs. The bubble screen tube TVs, the screen bubbles out. It's obvious. The other screen's flat. It's in the name itself. However, just know the flat screen tube TVs made in the 2000s, they don't work well with light gun games. You need that bubbled out screen. They have the same issue as modern day flat screens, so keep that into account. When it comes to cartridge video games, they're always cheaper loose than in the box. So if you're brand new to collecting, you don't know that much about it, you're trying to get back into the nest or something, buy them loose. Game collecting isn't just about video games and consoles. There's a bunch of stuff related to game collecting that can be fun to get to. You know, stuffed animals, figurines, posters, you name it. There's a lot of cool, handcrafted stuff. Just a bunch of cool video game and retro game themed stuff to definitely pick up as a side thing to your collection. Add a little pizzazz to it. Emulation is okay. A lot of people hate emulation, and look, emulating new video games is not good. Taking profit out of current companies. But a lot of old games aren't even available for sale, or they're overpriced. And if you buy a game off eBay, you're not supporting the developer anyway. Emulation is fine, and it can be a great way to test games as well, to see if you actually like them before you buy them. Don't be an elitist dick when it comes to game collecting. Let people collect what they want. Remember, you can always walk away from a seller. Look, some deals go bad, some prices might not work, some sellers are fucking assholes. Don't sacrifice your dignity. Don't think you have to get that deal. Remember, you can always walk away from a seller. The deal's not worth it, a better one may come down the future. For the next tip, I'm not going to actually explain it too much, I'm just going to link a video in the description. The YouTuber Foxy had a great way to expand space on your game shelf using simple styrofoam, so I recommend you check out the description. The video is linked down there. While eBay may be great, and I do recommend it, just know there are alternatives to eBay as well. Mercari, OfferUp, Shop Goodwill, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. So look at the options. You can find great deals on those websites as well. Remember, it's about the games, not the consoles. This might seem redundant to some of the points I said earlier, but I really gotta hammer it in. It's about the games, not the consoles. You gotta remember, a lot of people, they buy console stuff, and look, console variants and all that, very cool. Definitely part of collecting. You gotta remember, these aren't just trophy pieces, these are machines, and what you put in the machine matters. The game matters. Pick the right games. Pick games you'll play. Pick fun games. Pick games you're interested in. All that. You gotta always consider the game. It's not just about the console. Alright, you caught me. Yeah, I know. I'm not supposed to blow a new NES cartridge, but it's such an easy fix, and we're all guilty of this. These things just fucking blue screen so much. But look, at the end of the day, you're not supposed to blow into them. It apparently causes more damage moisture-wise, so it's never a good idea. Ideally, if you can clean them with a Q-tip, do that. But look, at the end of the day, I understand occasionally, we're all going to blow into the cartridge. In the game collecting community, I've noticed a sort of stigma around the website eBay. However, eBay is a great resource and a great website for getting video games, and I do recommend it. Now, the stigma is always about eBay's prices and stuff. Honestly, I don't find that big of a difference between eBay prices and a retro game shop price. And look, not all of us live around a retro game shop, so don't discount eBay. eBay is great. Remember to check the value online. Some places overcharge, garage sales and such. Don't think it's rude. Make sure you check the value online. Remember, the market is always shifting. Back in the 90s, the toy stuff was super expensive. Now it's not. The Nintendo Entertainment System will fall in price. Games will have trends up and down. Systems will have trends up and down. Newer consoles are going to be cheaper to collect for. Right now, the 360 is still cheap. Give it some time. It will get more expensive. Look at the market. Don't jump on trends. Look where others aren't looking. And look, at the end of the day, buy what you want, what you're interested in. But keep in mind there is a market to game collecting and how the prices are up and down. I think a big draw of game collection videos isn't even the video games, but actually the layout of the room. That's why for this tip, I'm gonna say give your game room personality. We all live in different houses and all the rooms have little nuances in the way they were built. When you take that and you mix it with your personality, you can really get something unique. So with your game room, I'd say, put up some posters, put up some figures, put up some cool light changing stuff, find unique pieces for your room. I mean, put a fucking statue up if you want. You name it, you put whatever you want in there. Another benefit to like the lights and stuff is that when you're gaming in the room, you can really set the mood and make it look cool. Have fun, don't be held back, and remember, it's also your room. Don't let other people pressure you into what you should and shouldn't have. I mean, I have a fucking Coca-Cola drink thing, I have fucking World War I posters, pinup girls, anime. I don't care, some people call it cringe. I don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck because this is my room. This is the space I go to escape from the world, to escape from the job, to relax. So it is my domain, and I will live it how I want, just like your room is your domain, so live it like you want. One mistake I think we all make as we get excited about game collecting in the beginning is forgetting quality over quantity. Look, it's cool having all these games on our shelves, and some people get an ego about it, but at the end of the day, you're playing the game, so quality over quantity. Don't think of your game collecting as a competition. Remember, there's always a bigger fish in the pond. Don't get jealous of people's collections, and don't fucking put people down for their smaller collection. There's always a guy out there with a bigger collection than you, and there always will be. So have fun. Don't think of it as a competition. You're not losing. We're all in this together. Try to avoid Amazon.com when buying retro video games. Often the prices are inflated and they use stock images. The Facebook Marketplace has been a great addition to Facebook, but just know it's not the only option. Make sure you join local Facebook groups that are about selling stuff, because you can find video games in those as well that won't be on the Marketplace. Reselling is okay. Now look, the term reseller gets thrown around a lot in the collecting community for good reason. We don't like resellers, but reselling is okay. That might sound paradoxical to you. See, a reseller is the type of person who, they don't care about the games. They're just there to scoop them up and flip them and make you pay more money. Reselling, though, it's okay as an action. If you got some duplicates, you buy a lot, you got games you don't need, sell them. Why not? Get more money for the collection. Have focus with your collection. Instead of buying games for every console you own and it's super spread out, it's a good idea to focus on a few libraries and really build up those libraries specifically instead of trying to buy, a game here and there spread across 20 consoles. Focus and goals will help with game collecting. It'll make it more manageable and you'll feel more accomplished. Huh. Oh, good timing. I didn't see you there. Funny enough, I happened to be wearing an old Value Village hat because I used to work there. At Value Village, Goodwill, these chain thrift stores, they're fucking great for collecting. Not so much for cartridges, but 360 collecting, Xbox Original collecting, great fucking deal. I mean, I got so many of my Xbox Original games in my massive collection from Goodwill. $2.99 each. You can't beat that. I mean, most 360 games, most Xbox Original games, you gotta spend like $10 on eBay at least, around there, Now at Value Village, $2.99, $3.99. You gotta hit up these chain thrift stores specifically. As of right now, they have not caught on to pricing for 360 or Xbox Original games. Same as PS3, PS2 and all that. They have not caught on. Right now, it's still fucking golden. Garage sales are a great value, and I recommend you go to them, but remember, there's certain luxuries you don't get. You don't get to test a console or game, so if you pay full price, then you might just be out of luck. So definitely get the value. Remember, there are no refunds at garage sales, so take that into account. It can be a good idea to check out game collecting conventions. Not only are your people there, people you can talk to, have fun with. Obviously, buying video games, they're in bulk, sellers have to travel with it, they want to get rid of them. The whole experience can be very good and very fun. And again, a hobby's supposed to be fun. So look in your area, somewhere on the map, there's one near you. eBay Suggested is a good way to discover new video games. Just scroll down from a video game you've already clicked on and keep clicking on more and more, and you will find more games you don't know about for that console. Watch retro gaming and game collecting YouTubers. It's a great part of the community. Lots of entertainment. It's obviously about what you're interested in. So definitely check it out. Now, this isn't a plug, if you want to check out Haytham Gruxton, I wouldn't mind. But also, there's a lot of great big retro gaming YouTubers, Happy Console Gamer, Metal Jesus, etc., etc. Check out the small ones, too. Lots of great small game collecting YouTubers. In fact, on my channel, you'll see a list of channels when you click on it. Most of them make game collecting related content. Definitely check them out. Plenty of people out there. As your game collection grows, you'll have more consoles and TVs and more wires. Well, I suggest adapters. They're your friend. They make so many adapters for anything you really need. HDMI to AV, AV to HDMI. You can throw RF in there. Seriously, look into adapters. They're super convenient for game rooms. I'm going to link a video in the description I made about connecting HDMI into the Atari and fucking that whole rigmarole. Link in the description. That video will help you understand adapters even more. Avoid clutter. Look, when you're game collecting, you're going to have boxes and shit pile up, packaging, consoles. You want to avoid the clutter. It gets in the way. It's not good for you. You won't feel good. Not fun to have clutter around. Unfortunately, I have not learned this lesson. Don't settle for bad copies. If you find a game that's all the plastic's all dinged up, especially if the disc is all scratched, you don't have to buy it. The opportunity will come again to get it down the road. I get the temptation. You found that 360 game you really wanted out in the wild at Goodwill. And if you're second guessing if it will even play, or if the case is just fucking horrid, don't settle for a bad copy. Of course, you can always replace the case and stuff, so keep that in mind. And if the game's rare, then obviously grab it. Don't break the bank. You still have a budget to adhere to. Don't let game collecting become so expensive that you can't pay bills, that you can't take care of family. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be fun. But you gotta pay your bills, you gotta take care of family first. Know your limit when it comes to spending money. Don't break the bank. Remember, it's always okay to downsize your collection. It doesn't have to be this growing achievement that you just see the numbers rise and rise. It's okay to downsize the collection. If you gotta sell stuff to pay bills, or if you got games that you just don't play, sell those things. Get better games. Downsizing's okay. These are inanimate objects. They're not gonna feel bad that you let them go. Your console you collect for, if it's cartridge-based, I got good news for you. It's most likely not dead. See, homebrew video games are video games made today for old systems, and I highly recommend them. I got a few Atari ones here. This is mostly what I collect for, homebrew-wise so far. But man, they got NES, they got Super Nintendo, you name it. Cartridge-based system, you're going to have new games made for it, cool ports made for it, hacks. I highly recommend checking out homebrew. It's a whole new, cool, fun avenue. Watch other collecting YouTubers. Not game collecting YouTubers. I'm talking movie collecting YouTubers, anime collecting, Laserdisc, you name it, VHS. Because a lot of other people who are collecting media and stuff, they have tips and tricks that will apply to game collecting. So definitely check out some videos by those people as well. I'm going to recommend, there's this guy named the Anime Collector. Like 6 or 7 years ago, he made a series of like 5 or 6 videos about collecting tips and stuff. They're really good. I'm going to link them in the description. Again, you don't have to be an anime at all. It all applies to game collecting, so definitely check it out. Be aware that game collecting addiction is a real thing. If you have an addictive personality or something, be aware it might happen to you with game collecting. Even if you don't have an addictive personality, I've experienced game collecting addiction in the beginning. I know a lot of other collectors have. So be aware of the problem. If you see it happening, cut it back. Be respectful to sellers. Look, I understand, they have no right to treat you like a dick. You don't get to treat them like a dick either. And by the way, if you treat a seller like an asshole, you're not going to get a good deal, and you might not even get the fucking game. One of the greatest things about game collecting is the community aspect. Definitely connect with other people. It will make game collecting a lot funner. Hell, even for me, a lot of my internet friends and fellow creators, Retro Gamer Dad, Kamikaze Ku, Nostalgia64, and so on, they're all into game collecting. It's a whole community, and that definitely makes it funner. You can send people messages, hey, look what I got, you post lots, everyone's having fun, everyone's on the hunt together. Definitely join the community. All over the place there's community. There's groups, there's pages, there's conventions. The game collecting community is overall really positive and just a great community. Connect with people, definitely. Well, we've come to the end of the video. No grand point, no grand tip left, no grand finale. I've already given you the best tips. So I'm going to end it with a simple tip, a simple reiteration. Remember, it's your collection. No big YouTuber's collection. It's not the random guy on Facebook's collection. It is your collection. Build it with the games you want. Build it how you want. And remember, have fun because it is your collection. It should bring you joy. It's a hobby.